So this is a video that was requested, and it was about handmade gifts. It's going to be a little short sharing type of video. Unfortunately, I don't have the time. Okay, so this is going to be a short little video just for some ideas, what I have done in the past, and maybe a few resources that I've utilized. Unfortunately, I don't have in my schedule right now the time to sit down and actually show you guys how to make some of these things. Maybe down the road I will definitely just if that's something that you want from me, I can definitely try to work that into my schedule for you and how I did it. But most of these I've actually just gone on good old YouTube and Pinterest and found the materials and what I needed and the gist of how to make them, and kind of put my own little twist on it. So just remember that none of these crafts this is not like something you have to do like exactly the same way. You can, and that's the important part. When you're doing handmade gifts, you want to put your little spin on it. You want to put your little bit of personality into it, because that's the one thing that handmade gifts provides for another person is your personality, and it reminds them of you. So just remember that when you go into making a craft for somebody. You can make pretty much any gift for any occasion: graduation, baby showers, weddings, birthdays, obviously, any kind of holiday, Christmas, stuff. So these are just a few of the things, and I will go over them a little bit and share little stories behind them. Now, some of them I don't have in front of me because I sometimes will make ornaments and go and put them in random places around my community anonymously, and so I will make them out of polymer clay. So that's my first gift idea, is to think about what a person really likes. Think about if they have a collection of any type of thing, if they're more nature-based type of people, what their favorite color is, if they have a texture, if they don't like a texture, if it has to be shiny, dull, if they want pictures. You can always incorporate all of that stuff into your gift idea. So this is like the basis of an idea. And again, put your spin on it. That's the important part of a handmade gift. So I went ahead, I made ornaments, and I just used polymer clay, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you can go to any craft store. Happens to be Sculpey 3, and it's not a hard clay at all, and this cures in the oven. So you can make it into any shape, any form that you would like. You can get cookie cutters, and you can roll these out or hand roll it, or let kids even play with it. You can do handprints in them. So those are also a cute little idea. You can do footprints in them for babies. Great for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. And you can personalize them in that way. And then you put them in the oven, and you read the instructions. They have a bake, depending on where you live. You put them in the oven 15 to 30 minutes, and then it's hard. You let it cool off, and it's hard, and you can paint them. You can decorate it with glitter. You can, whatever the case may be. You can put herbs into it. You can put flowers. Sky's the limit. So like I said, look onto Pinterest. You can Google this, obviously, or go onto YouTube, and I'm sure there are many, many tutorials out there that can show you the ideas of ornament making with polymer clay. And you can also use air dry clay. There are several different brands. I just go to my local craft store and buy it, and I make these little coin medallion type of trinkets, I guess you would call them. And I basically just took a cookie stamp. You can do cookie cutters as well. And I just took the clay, I balled it up, and when I put the stamp in it, it kind of smushed it down into this little coin shape. And with the air dry clay, I basically took some dragon's blood and I crushed it up and incorporated that in, and it kind of, I know with all the lighting it's kind of glary because it's white, but I don't know if you can see those little red chunks in it. I mixed that into the clay and rolled it into a ball, and then when I stamped it and then I sprayed it with a little bit of mist, that was dragon's blood, so it kind of has that scent to it. And I will include these as little gifts to people who purchase from me on my Etsy store. I've given these to classmates of mine when I take my metaphysical, classes, and so they're just people, because they're tiny and a keepsake almost. People just adore them. So that's another gift giving idea. You can put any, you don't have to do pentacle. You can put any kind of stamp in there. You can draw your initials. You can do your thumbprint. You can, again, use your imagination. You can, if somebody loves nature, you can make them a set of these with the like a leaf pattern. Go out and grab, leaves from your tree, and you can press them into the clay and let it dry. So you can do that with polymer clay as well. And so those are just, that's another little idea. Sorry guys. I should really just turn that off, right? So that's another idea. Also, if you have somebody in your life who loves stones, this is called stone jar. And it's pretty simple to do. You could gather some stones with some properties that you think would benefit them, and bless them. And you can put a fancy label on this. You can get a nicer jar that they'll fit into, and make a handwritten card that gives all the properties of these stones, and there you go. It's an inexpensive, personalized gift that somebody would love to have and cherish, and can utilize. So there's usage in that. It's not just something that they're going to take and be like, oh, okay, and then a year down the road they're like, this is serving me no purpose, and throw it away. That's the whole point here. You don't want something that isn't going to serve a purpose, or be something that somebody won't cherish, And so the other idea, and I unfortunately don't have one to show you guys because obviously it was a gift and I don't have time to make another one, but I made a gift for a loved one, and it was out of a deck of cards. And what I did, this is just an example, it wasn't necessarily this deck, but you can find these really pretty decks that have designs on the back side, but it is just a card deck. And so you would get a hole punch, and you would just punch, the hole in the card, so you could get a metal ring or a ribbon or anything so they can stick together, so they're, and then they can be flipped through and go, back to back, so they're not going to fly all over the place. They don't go into a box so they, get all yucky, because you're going to take the card and print out quotes or symbols, handwritten love notes, and you can glue a square of paper onto it with that note or wording, whatever you want on the card, pictures. Again, you can Pinterest this and it will give you thousands of ideas for any kind of occasion. And so you would glue it to the card and put your message on it. You can put gems on it. You can put glitter. Just dress it up. And so when you gift it, you can do affirmations. You can give this to somebody who's going off to college, say, and you can put recipes on it. Or you can, like little reminders of don't forget to do this today for yourself. Or, you know, birthdays, you can put little messages, oh, so-and-so's birthday is today, don't forget, just random little ideas. And so they would be all together, and it just gives somebody that little something. Oh, they thought of me, how, they took some time to make this. It's just a wonderful gift idea. So yeah, that's another one that I sometimes go to. It is a little time consuming, but this is very, very personalized and very specific to the person that you're going to gift it to. The other thing that some people will go to is jewelry. And if you have somebody in your life who loves jewelry, why not? You can go to your craft store and you can grab, some semi-precious stones. They're not like top grade quality, but if you're looking to keep the price down on it and you want to hand make something, this is definitely a go-to. Nobody's gonna say, oh my gosh, this is not like grade A, no. So you can get some beads, you can get some stones and make a necklace. This happens to be a lapis lazuli stone, and they just come on a strand like this. And if somebody in your life loves jewelry, who's not going to love some lapis as a necklace? So if you're crafty like that, that's always a good option to go to, is to customize jewelry. You can always make a stretchy band bracelet. I do that often. I have a little granddaughter who loves jewelry, and I will just get a jar of beads, let her pick them out, and I will make her bracelets galore, so who doesn't love a nice bracelet? And you can even make them for men. I mean, there are many, many beads out there that have more of a masculine feel to them, and color. It doesn't always have to be shiny. And I've made bracelets for my son as well, and he's like 22. So there's always a way to incorporate the masculine, feminine qualities into your craft as well, into your gift. Okay, so this is the big one. This one is time consuming. You have to collect all your items. This took me a little while to make, but this is a little gnome. These items on here, minus this little add-on, was either recycled or purchased from the dollar store. This happens to be just that yarn it's like a real thin strand, and it has these little wispies along. I have no idea what they use them for. I think they use them for scarves, but yeah, you can pick this material up at the dollar store. Most dollar stores will have some type of material. And so maybe one day I will do a tutorial to make him, but there are other tutorials out there of how to make a sock. They're called sock gnomes. So this right here is a sock. I'll flip them around. This would be the toe. This would be the heel. And you fill it with rice, and I put a bay leaf in here because rice sometimes it will promote the little buggies to hatch if it's in heat. And I've always read that you put a bay leaf with it and it won't occur. I don't know. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, there's a bay leaf in him. And if you want to have, it's a great way. You can do magical incorporation into this. You can obviously fill him with some herbs, fill it with lavender. Again, it doesn't have to be rice, but the reason that rice is used for him is so he sits properly. But if I was to make another one for somebody and they wanted him for protection or wanted him for fun or, anything like that, I would include a little bit of the herbs into his body. And yeah, so this was just a piece of the sock, and I used rubber bands, those clear little rubber bands. And after I filled the sock up, you just kind of scrunch it up, and it forms the nose, and you put the rubber band around it. And those just make it a little easier because I also went around with some thread, actually thicker than that, it was the embroidery thread, and tied it off. That way, if the rubber band broke over time, the embroidery thread was there to hold the shape. And in his hat is just material to keep the shape. So I know that some people use the little cones for their hats. You can just also put just like a filler material, like the stuffed animal polyfill, I think is what it's called. But pretty much you can use anything to shape his hat, and you just shape it accordingly. And I just took a little bead and tied off the top and customized it with a bead. This was part of a scrapbooking embellishment kit that was at the local store, and so that came with it. And I put him together mostly with hot glue, embroidery thread, and 2 socks. I used a little bit of makeup on his nose to turn it pink, and then the yarn, and some, I know you can't see it, but this is that felt material. What's it called? Sorry, I'm not good with my materials, guys. I think it's felt, and black felt, or you can use cream colored felt, you can use white felt, just depends on what color you're going to make his beard. But yeah, he is a little more extensive. I think I took an hour to put him together after I got all the materials together, and just to assemble him, make sure he was just right, and the shape of him, make sure the sock was fitting. But yeah, so he was a great little gift idea. I made a bunch of them for my neighbors and some of my teachers and mentors, and they were a hit. So those are just a few ideas, guys, and if you want me to do a tutorial on any of those, just let me know. Again, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Pinterest, and you can definitely find tutorials to help you make those. Down the road, like I said, my schedule is kind of hectic. I would love to make some tutorials. Maybe my next time I make some gifts, I will record the next time I make them. That way I don't run into this problem of having to find time to make these tutorials for you. The other route, I just thought this was funny. It's not necessarily something that I would do, but my teenager thought this was a cute little idea, and she got it, I can't remember what occasion it was. I think it was my birthday. And she found this inspiration on Pinterest. And so this is the jar of nothing. And it's literally just a jar. I'll read it to you. It says, Did you say nothing when you were asked what you wanted for your birthday, anniversary, graduation, or Christmas? Don't you remember saying nothing? Well, this time someone heard you, searched night. I think that says night. Sorry, it rubbed off. Night and low, and found the perfect gift. Sorry, it was a little worn off. But yeah. And she said she just found it on Pinterest and couldn't resist. Because usually when the kids ask me if I want anything for my birthday, I would really prefer it to be handmade. And I think last year they just were so busy that they didn't have the time. And so I just said, don't worry about it. You don't have to get me anything. It's just nothing. Don't worry about it. So she thought it was cute, and she got me the jar of nothing. So if you have somebody in your life who isn't into all of the materialistic type of things for a gift, they can always just have a jar and they can utilize it later. So just a silly little idea, but I hope this gives you some kind of inspiration and ideas for your next gift giving. And I'm sure that they will be enjoyed and loved forever. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.